If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice, they told me that less is simple.
GATV. What's good, y'all? What's good? It's gravitating away, and I'm bringing to y'all another interesting one. Now, if I've had my say about this so-called NAACP organization, and I'm telling you guys, frauds. Now, the NAACP basically means National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. First of all, that always blows my mind. We still got organizations around here that are called colored. But I digress. So this fading organization that I promise you is useless for black people in the United States of America. Just when I thought they couldn't surprise me anymore with their lack thereof progressions and any noteworthy help in the cause of black folks in this nation, they did it again. Forget the time that they crowned Dwayne Wade, but specifically Gabrielle Union, for the indoctrination of certain gender identity on quote unquote ZELLE Wade. She received a NAACP award for something most of you call natural. Well, how natural it is that she's receiving an award for, some would say pimping, some would say conditioning, Dwayne Wade's son, but he is a man, so he should have stood his ground. But this is not what we're here for. Honestly, I'm not gonna hold y'all long, I promise you. But I'm offended by this story I was reading for so many reasons. But then again, this story substantiated why I say the NAACP is useless and meaningless to black people. So if you guys could follow me for a quick second, I just want to read this article by the HuffPost. It says Missouri wants to execute Michael Tsaias tomorrow despite widespread pleas to spare his life. And I guess they're throwing him as a young man, as you see in these pictures. They're just throwing him in there, you know, to capitulate to his youthful appearance, but he's a grown man now. But apparently when he was 19 years old, during a botched plot to free his former cellmate, he is scheduled to be executed by lethal injection, although his request for a stay is still pending. Now, during this botched breakaway he tried to do for his cellmate, 2 guards were murdered, and they attributed that to this gentleman. Now, unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, meaning for the guards, they're no longer here to express how they feel about this guy being put to death. Okay, he was 19, still took the lives of 2 men. Why am I talking about Michael? Well, let's move along. Of the many folks, again, this is him when he was younger, of the many folks and organizations fighting to save his life, I stumbled across the NAACP sending out a letter for the release of this man from the execution date that is set upon him. Now, let that sink in. Seriously, let that sink in for 1 second. I hope you can picture an organization that says that they're there for the advancement of colored people, i.e. black people in these United States, right? All the backlash that I got about standing my ground on telling y'all this organization is a coon organization funded by a certain group of people. You do the research. I'm not trying to go through YouTube guidelines or whatever. When you talk about this certain group, you know, you can guarantee it, they're going to try to get you out of here. I don't know why this group is so protected, and I'm not talking about LGBTQ, no. But this group funded the NAACP. So it's not even a grassroots movement for black people, or rather from black people. Nonetheless, as you clearly see here, and let's read, as Tessius waits for the courts to determine his fate, an international array of groups, including the American Bar Association, and forget the rest, let's focus right here, the NAACP. Haven't seen them fought this hard for anybody in a while. I mean, they do a good show of putting together a nice performance because they understand black people love symbolism. And you got all these symbolic groups and figureheads that allowed the grifters and scammers to come by the boatloads and do what they do on you people. I pray that it is somebody listening out there that rolls their eyes the next time they see the NAACP on any platform. I hope you roll your eyes. Now, in hindsight, people will say, maybe this was a bit too much, but why? Again, they threw their hat in the ring by sending an extensive letter to have this young man, at the time he was a young man, he's a grown man now, this murderer, to avoid getting his execution. When I could think of the many black men, guilty and not guilty, that has faced either the electric chair, injection, however their method of execution went, the many black men, young black men, I haven't seen the NAACP fought too hard. I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, and I don't find this amazing to say, but it should be a shame, I've seen, yes, Kanye's ex, Kim Kardashian, showed more success in freeing black men from the electric chair. Black men from a needle. Kim Kardashian helping men be freed from prison, men get pardoned. Unfortunately, you got these dead organizations that are still hanging around, like the church minister preying on your mothers, sisters, and aunties, because let's just face it, in most of these black churches, there's mostly women in these churches. And you got the NAACP preying on our black people like the pastor and deacon and bishop does at church on Sundays. Think about that for a second. This organization that cannot bring to you and show you a significant amount of work put in, cannot show you the results that would say we're successful, we're beneficial to our people. They can't do any of that, show you any of that, but they had the time to put a noteworthy letter in to keep this murderer, Michael Tessius, from getting his execution. Now, this isn't so much about Michael. I'm telling you, it's not. It's about the many of you that still thinks these groups are for you. It's time we start anew. Put away these things of the past. I'm telling you. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you, but this is just to throw it out there. Do the research yourself. The case is Michael Tessius. Look that up. I'll have it in the description. And you see the involvement the NAACP played in it, but yet they still have that foolish word in the acronym, colored. And they say this is an association that is put in place for the advancement of colored people, i.e. black people. What a joke, man. What a freaking joke. But I'm not going to hold you long. Go ahead and do your due diligence. But do me a favor, man. Put away these things that do not help us. They remind me of the Benjamin Crumps of the world. These groups do not reflect some of our brightest, whether it was a Thurgood Marshall or up until recently, before his passing, Johnny Cochran. This group is a dinosaur that was never truly meant to help us at the root of it. Go look up who funded that group as well. I'm throwing it out here so y'all could catch on to it, but I'm not going to say the name of these people. And I just want you to ask yourself, is this group necessarily here for the betterment of our people? Gravitating away, man. Holla at me, man. But like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever y'all do, keep coming back.